Hello, everyone. Thanks for attending this session. Sorry, my Turkish language is not good, and I have only 15 minutes, so I have to do it in English. But after the session, we can also have more discussion in Turkish at our stand. My name is Alfred Tharwat. I'm heading the technical department in R&M. Just a very quick brief about the company. R&M is a Swiss company, started more than 57 years ago, focusing on infrastructure connectivity in three main segments: LAN, data center, and public network. Today's session, of course, will speak about data center, but it's not the regular information we already learned about data center. We will have something extra. Before I do this, I want to show you what actually is unique in a data center and what's increasing now and year after year. As you see here on this chart, what you get from these two charts is the demand, the increase of bandwidth, not only for the traffic between the user, ourselves, and the data center, but also inside the data center. So this east-west traffic, and here you see that 77% of this traffic is east-west, which means within a data center or between data center. This is increasing exponentially. And this is very important for us because we need all of us, from data center designers, planners, installers, and operators, to make sure that we have the best technology when it comes to data center. Not only this, but if you look now to the data center of today, it's getting more and more complicated. Now with this spine and leaf technology, plus also software-defined storage and software-defined networking, we have more complexity when it comes to the data center design and implementation. This is adding more demands on the Ethernet links. To summarize, on the data center design we need to take care of, we can just split all the main parameters, drivers, and challenges into these 6 points. The first point is, of course, the throughput. If I have 1G at the desktop, 10G at the desktop, I need to make sure that I have 40G, 100G, 200G, and more on the access and core of the data center. So maximum throughput is very important, but it's not the only thing. The next one is quick deployment. I need to make sure that deployment implementation is very quick, not only the installation at the first stage, but also any changes, any moves, adds, and changes has to be also very quick. Space is not unlimited, it's very limited. I cannot just fill the room with patch panels, racks, but I still have limited space, and I want to make sure that I use it very professionally. Availability is very important. When it comes to design, I need to think about redundancy. Minimum latency, this is also very important. Now you see more and more of companies are aware of the edge data center and the micro data center, so latency is very important. I need to decrease it as much as I can. And the last point here is visibility and manageability. And what I can say here, that R&M is a Swiss company, and we do the best connectors, whether it's OM5, single mode, or Cat8. However, this is not only the single important point that I need to take care of. The best connector is very good, but I need to take care of other things as well. For example, the quick deployment, I need to use pre-terminated cables, copper and fiber. Space is very important. I need to use ultra-high density, and you can see it at our booth, the Netscale and the Prime family, where we can have not only 24, 48, and 96, but we can have 120 port duplex in one unit. And we can have, with the Prime family at the Meet Me room, we can have 384 points at 3U. This is very important for us. Number 4 is the availability, and definitely with the redundancy with our professional services to support you and support other system integrators and designers and owners for the design, then we can make sure that redundancy is taken care of. Number 5 is the latency with the edge data center. And the last one, which is also very, very, very important, is visibility and manageability. And here we have a software and hardware we can show you at the booth that can take care of. So the first message of today is, we at R&M we do the best connector. We are sure that this connector is very good and the maximum throughput is maintained, whether it's a copper or fiber, single mode or multi-mode. However, this is not enough. I need to make sure that I fulfill other points till we have complete visibility and documentation. What if we don't have documentation? This is the importance of documentation. Documentation is very, very important today because lack of control and changes in patching cause problems. 28% of the issues comes only from the patching mistake. The IT manager is giving a work order to the technician did a mistake there, and then the network is down or the data center has some issues. This is very important to have good documentation. Unfortunately, 70% of these networks are still managed with Excel. Excel is a very good software, but it's not a network software. It's not a multi-user tool. It's good to have some documentation, but not for critical data center, not for big data centers. Still, if you use it, problem is there, you need to do firefighting. You need to search for the issue and try to solve it. And the impact of human error is there. So Gartner is doing a nice maturity model. We call it AIM, Automated Infrastructure Management Maturity Model, which starts with the first basic documentation that we all may have on our desktop or cabinets. The first basic documentation is Post-it note. You know the Post-it note, right? Where you can just have a piece of paper, write down what you have, and put it on the screen or on the rack. It's still there, but it's not useful. It's not good for data center. Maybe it's good only for my personal stuff, but not good for a data center. The second one is using Excel, Microsoft Excel, which is still good for maybe one rack or two rack computer room, but not as good as the cable management software if we compare it with in a data center. Still, everyone is putting his comments, his posts there, his information there, but fragmented, not according to one system. Maybe one put it in yellow, green, blue, and the other one prefer other colors, so there is no single template that you can have here. And still, it relies on individual people. It relies on heroes that knows where the information and travel immediately in order to try to solve it. Number 3 is the cable management software, which is our InteliPhy software if you try it, but as a standalone software. Still, it's very good if you can maintain the full IT system in a single database, from cables to cabinets, to patch panels, to routers and switches, everything in the same database. Plus also, you have the change management process. So you know exactly if you have this work order, what will happen and how you can maintain it and how to describe this to the full team. Still, this is only 50% of the task. This is not everything. What I still can add is the software plus R&M hardware, which will provide complete monitoring for all the panels and the switches. So you can have real-time monitoring from the panel, from the switch to the server, end to end. You can have it there. And the last one is just to add here also the information from the building management system, from the sensors, from power and cooling, which other companies are doing, but we still need to maintain it in a single screen. And what you see here from Gartner is the full automated infrastructure management, or we can even upgrade it and we can say complete data center infrastructure management from Post-it note up to the complete DCIM software and hardware. This is excellent today, and now we understand that without documentation, we may have a lot of issues. Actually, without documentation, it's like searching for a needle in a haystack, because you need to find, where is the problem? I have a problem there. The network is down, and I need quickly to know where is the problem. And here in data center, we deal with two different teams. The team on the right side are the people taking care of the cabling, infrastructure connectivity, right? Like me. And these people, they need to spend like 90% of their time finding where is the problem, and 10% just to plug in the right patch code or to disconnect the wrong patch code. Do you agree? The people on the left side, they are the network engineers who can just write codes and search with the network management software. They spend 10% of their time finding the problem and 90% to write code or to do some changes in the switch configuration in order to solve the problem. Unfortunately, we need to focus here because we are talking about the data center infrastructure. We need to focus here on this victim team because they may have the software, but it's not used well. And we have some statistics here. 54% of IT managers, they have the software, they have DCIM software, but they mainly use it for capacity management and power monitoring. So the software is there, documentation is there. However, you may have still these issues. Do you agree? Sometimes we know the importance of documentation. We have a system for documentation, but still it's not good enough. And this is our role here as R&M, not only to have a software, but to integrate this together with the hardware. And this is what we are doing. DCIM application and services, plus the IoT layer and the patch parallel cabling. What we did is using our hardware, which you can see at the stand, the Netscale family, the Prime family, and other panels with higher density, with very good density, but integrate this together with sensors, with RFID sensors, in order to monitor every single patch. In this case, we won't have these issues. We will have the software together integrated with the hardware, and we can easily track which cable is this, which fiber port is this. Not only this, but we can also monitor the traffic itself, because if you can monitor which port is part of the story, but you may need also to monitor the traffic. And with our tabs, we can also have a complete mirror of the traffic as well. So documentation is very important, but to integrate with hardware is much, much more important. What we do is to use our software here, which you can try. If you go to rdm.com and then /InteliPhy, you have your trial copy. In this software, you can have complete connectivity trace, customizable search and reporting. You can search for anything. For example, I need to search for the cabinets which have like 80% fill capacity, 80% full, because I need now to plan for upgrade. Or maybe I have 1,000 copper links, and I need to make sure that which one is upgradable to Cat 8, because Cat 8, as we know, it's only up to 24 meters. So I need to keep a database for this and to make sure that they are upgradable. So the search and reporting is very important. Asset management also is extremely important. I need to make sure that software is used also for all the assets I have in my organization. Capacity, so with just a click, I need to know how many units are available in one cabinet, how many ports are available in this switch, or I need to buy another switch. So also capacity is very important here. Alerts is also very important because you may have some issues, but you don't know. And if you don't know something, this means you cannot measure it. You need to get this information in order to measure, and to manage. So alerts are very important here, and you can, once you add all the software, all the system there, you get alert if the distance is higher, or if the measurement is not good, or even if the ports are less, the percentage are less than what I need, or number of units are less than what I need, or even if the stock is reaching a limit. I have a stock, and I'm taking from this stock to fill in my data center, so I need also to monitor the stock as well. And the last point here is I need to make sure that tickets, cases, workflow is maintained in a way in order to avoid these patching mistakes. I need to make sure that once I plan something, the technicians will see it there on the software, and also on the hardware as well. They can see which port required to be connected or disconnected. This is done thanks to the RFID technology. So every single patch code, whether it's LC, E2000, MPO, RJ45, or SC, any single connector can be a smart patch code, can turn into a smart patch code. Not only the panel to an intelligent panel, but even the connector, the patch code, will be an intelligent and a smart patch code as well. Not only on the panel to panel, but even from the switch. What you see here is even on the server port. On the server port, I can monitor also the LC patch code there. And with this RFID technology, I can not only having the best connector from R&M, but also having complete visibility and manageability on any of my data center panels and switches. I managed to do everything in 15 minutes. I know I run too fast, but you still can get more information at the stand, thanks to Turkey team, Ibrahim, Adam, and Mr. Sulaiman there. If you have any question, please come to our stand, and welcome to see also the products there. Thank you very much.